The Moro Arc begins after the events of Dragon Ball Super Broly. Although we don't see these events in the manga, we can assume that it's consistent with the movie. Goku and Vegeta are training and discussing how they'll never fight together again, engaging in the banter you'd expect from them. Vegeta asks about Ultra Instinct, but Goku explains that he hasn't been able to use it since the Tournament of Power. Their conversation is interrupted by a call from Mr. Satan, who reveals that Buu has been kidnapped and he needs Goku and Vegeta's help. Goku informs Vegeta that he'll teleport them both, but Vegeta stubbornly insists on flying there himself. Goku arrives first and confronts the kidnappers. Vegeta arrives shortly after, but allows Goku to handle the situation. One of the kidnappers hears Mr. Satan mention Goku and Vegeta's names and seems to recognize them. He easily defeats both Goku and Vegeta with shockwave weapons. He orders the others to take Goku and Vegeta as well, and the kidnappers depart Earth. When the Saiyans wake up, they see Jaco and realize that the kidnappers are actually members of the Galactic Patrol. The one who knocked out Goku and Vegeta is named Merus, and he is the #1 agent of the Galactic Patrol. He explains that they kidnapped Buu because they need the Great Lord of Lords who is currently sleeping within him. It turns out, 10 million years ago, 5 million years before Buu absorbed the Great Lord of Lords, there was a battle with a planet-eating sorcerer named Morrow. The Great Lord of Lords deemed them unable to win, so he risked everything to seal Morrow's planet-eating magic. It depleted his divine power, but was successful, and the Galactic Police, the precursor to the Galactic Patrol, captured Morrow because he was too powerful to be killed. Even after 10 million years, he's still alive, and what's worse, some of his magic has returned, allowing him to escape from prison. Unfortunately, Bert is currently asleep when they need him for the 10th time this year, so reaching the Great Lord of Lords is currently impossible. Goku says they'll help capture Morrow, and Vegeta reluctantly agrees, though he seems more interested in Merus, who appears too powerful to be an ordinary Galactic Patrol agent. So, Goku and Vegeta are temporarily inducted as members of the Galactic Patrol, and they get cool logos on their uniforms. Returning to the Galactic Patrol headquarters, they pinpoint Morrow's location. Goku starts to sense the direction they're headed, but Morrow can sense that Goku is on the hunt. What's more frightening is that Morrow's energy feels like the cries of many people because he's a planet eater, and his power is actually a collection of souls he has consumed. On Morrow's ship, he tells his ally Cranberry that they are being pursued, but he can't scout further because it takes a lot of his energy. Cranberry is a former Freezer soldier captured by the Galactic Patrol. He escaped with Morrow and informed Morrow about the Namekian Dragon Balls that will allow him to regain his magic. Cranberry's only request is a single wish for himself, and Morrow agrees. Our heroes also learn that Morrow's target is New Namek. Goku and Vegeta teleport to the new planet before Morrow arrives, and this time they're even holding hands. Merus is too engrossed in their dream-come-true delivery to warn them not to confront Morrow when they arrive on Namek. They alert the Namekians, who begin fleeing with the Dragon Balls. After they depart, Morrow's ship lands, and he emerges. He attempts to consume a Namekian child named Iskay, but Vegeta acts quickly and saves him. In doing so, Vegeta reflects on his troubled past with the Namekians. It's really cool to see Vegeta's remorse for his past self. Vegeta says he wants to handle Morrow himself and transforms into a Super Saiyan. He attacks, but Morrow easily overpowers Vegeta in his Super Saiyan state, so Vegeta transforms into a Super Saiyan God. Now, it seems that Vegeta's about to win, but Morrow still has more power, which he exhibits through his magic. Goku mentions that they know Morrow consumes life energy, and Morrow praises them for not being completely clueless. Then, as Morrow raises his hand, energy begins to emanate from New Namek. Morrow explains that instead of just devouring the planet's life energy, he can control it as an attack. Vegeta does his best, but after learning that this attack doesn't deplete Morrow's stamina, he concedes that he can't win. He asks Morrow about his intentions, and after some explanations, Morrow reveals that he's seeking the Dragon Balls and wants to use them to regain his power. That's enough for Vegeta. He calls Morrow a rotten piece of garbage worthy of being killed. Vegeta quickly transforms into Super Saiyan Blue and begins to easily defeat Morrow. Everything goes well until Goku starts to realize something is wrong. Morrow forms a large ball with Namek's life energy. Vegeta says it's useless, but Morrow doesn't use it as an attack. Instead, he consumes it and gains a massive power boost. Vegeta thinks that Morrow's power boost is still insufficient and attempts to transform and face him once more, but Vegeta can't even transform into a Super Saiyan. Morrow can not only absorb the planet's energy, but also siphon the life energy from living beings on the planet. Goku joins in to help Vegeta, but both of them don't have enough energy to confront Morrow now. Goku feels sorry for the Namekians, but he knows they can't stay there. So, he takes Vegeta to teleport away, but Goku doesn't even have enough ki to perform instant transmission, which, I believe, is happening for the first time in the series. With no escape, Morrow captures both Saiyans and drains most of their life energy. The Planet Eater is astonished to find that their energy has rejuvenated his body to a much younger state. Meanwhile, Morrow and Cranberry begin searching for the Dragon Balls. Back at the Galactic Patrol headquarters, Boo finally wakes up and they receive a report that Goku and Vegeta's life signs have been detected on Namek. They were actually saved by SK and Elder Mori, even though they were unconscious for 3 full days. Fortunately for them, Morrow takes a long time to gather the Dragon Balls due to the plot, so he currently has only 3 of them. The Namekians have a plan, even though their most powerful fighters start joining to defend their world. Dozens of Namekians merge into one, and the resulting warrior flies straight towards Morrow without hesitation. Morrow easily pierces the Namekian savior and kills him. Vegeta realizes that Morrow is using villages to locate the Dragon Balls, but just as he realizes this, Morrow learns to sense the Dragon Balls directly. So, hiding the last Dragon Ball is no longer an option. Goku and Vegeta sense Morrow's arrival, and even though they themselves are nearly dead, they muster their strength to face him one last time, knowing they may likely die. But before they can do so, a ship appears behind Morrow, and on it is Merus. He shoots down Morrow's ship and uses a specially designed net to trap Morrow. However, it won't hold the Planet Eater for long, so their true plan begins, and Boo is also released from the ship. Not only that, the Galactic Patrol successfully extracts memories from the Great Lord of Lords. Morrow and Boo start to get angry with each other as they recall the past. Morrow breaks free from the net, and their battle begins, with the Great Lord of Lords' memories and Boo's unique physical abilities seemingly giving him the upper hand. Even Morrow's energy absorption doesn't work, and it appears Boo is getting a power boost from the awakened memories. Merus tells Boo to steal Morrow's magic, but as he begins to do so, the sky darkens. Cranberry has gathered the last Dragon Ball before Goku and Vegeta can stop him. Cranberry wants the full return of Morrow's magical power. After regaining his power, Morrow flies towards Cranberry and quickly kills him. Morrow does want his second wish after all, and because Cranberry used the first wish to heal himself, there's nothing left for the former Frieza soldier. Fairly, he consumed the souls of others, so he's not the most trustworthy person. When Goku and Vegeta finally catch up to him, Morrow has already made his wish but conceals what the second wish was. He then tells them that he no longer needs to fight and escapes while suppressing his key presence. Meanwhile, Boo and Merus chase after him, and Boo quickly heals all the surviving beings. Meanwhile, Morrow begins to consume the entire planet Namek. After healing everyone, Boo's face changes into the face of the Great Lord of Lords. He says he will swap places with Boo until Morrow is defeated. With that, Goku, Vegeta, and the Great Lord of Lords teleport the next day for their final battle. Morrow uses illusions to buy time while he absorbs Namek's energy from space, which Vegeta and Goku cannot reach. The Great Lord of Lords goes alone because it's evident that Morrow is stronger than the Great Lord of Lords, so Buu's peculiar abilities are no longer relevant. The Great Lord of Lords threatens to seal Morrow's magic, but Morrow sees it as an empty threat because the Great Lord of Lords no longer possesses divine power to unleash such abilities. As Morrow defeats him, memories appear in the Great Lord of Lords' mind. The memories are of the end of the Buu saga, where Goku killed Kid Buu. Now, the Great Lord of Lords understands that Kid Buu had divine power. Morrow also sees this memory and becomes even more confident that no one can challenge him. Meanwhile, Merus asks Goku and Vegeta if they are sure they are stronger than Morrow. Vegeta says that despite the magic, they are stronger. Merus dons his spacesuit and says he will bring Morrow back to planet Namek with the help of the Great Lord of Lords. Merus successfully distracts Morrow and escorts him back to Namek. Goku and Vegeta also teleport and confront Morrow again, this time with their full power. Morrow laughs at them mockingly because they forgot about the second wish. It turns out Morrow wished for the release of all Galactic Patrol prisoners. The prisoners arrive on Namek just in time and assist Morrow in his escape. Morrow grants power to his forces to battle Goku and Vegeta, but they are easily defeated despite the added strength. Morrow slowly drains the energy of Goku, Vegeta, and Namek. Eventually, they can no longer transform into Super Saiyans. Merus and Jaco join in to assist the Saiyans in the Great Lord of Lords retreats. When Goku is ready to teleport, Vegeta complains about not liking the weird technique for some reason and then leaves on his own. Goku and the others return to the Galactic Patrol headquarters, while Vegeta steals Agent Iriko's ship and informs him to head to Yardrat, a planet with various strange techniques. A few days pass, and the prisoners cause chaos throughout the universe, particularly finding planets for Morrow to consume. Goku and Merus are concerned about how Morrow is growing stronger, and Merus says that their chances of winning are now almost zero. Goku asks if Merus is fighting seriously, and he throws a serious punch at Merus, who easily dodges it, seemingly proving Goku's theory. Goku requests to spar with Merus, and Merus agrees. They enter a training room and begin to fight. Goku seems unable to land a blow on Merus, even after transforming into Super Saiyan 3. So, before they destroy the training room, Goku asks Merus to train him. Merus agrees and says he knows the right place for it. Meanwhile, the Macaroni gang is up to their own schemes, pretending to work for Morrow. They even remember Jaco talking about Earth before they were captured, making Earth a target for Morrow's power. At the same time, Vegeta finally arrives on Yardrat. He's welcomed by the Yardratians, which is their Manga nickname, but I'll refer to them as Yardrats for simplicity. It turns out they've heard about the Jetta from Goku in the past, and what's most peculiar is they say Goku defeated the Ginyu Force on their planet. Perhaps this implies there are more Ginyu Force members than just the 5 main members we saw on Namek. Then, Vegeta meets Pybra, an elderly Yardrat who taught Goku the instant transmission technique and will teach Vegeta what they call spirit control, a way to use ki to perform techniques like this. A few days later, Goku and Merus leave the Galactic Patrol headquarters to resume their training on Earth. Piccolo is concerned because he can't contact Namek and fears that something terrible has happened to the Nakians. His worry is interrupted when he senses the approaching Macaroni gang to Earth and goes to investigate them. They shoot at him immediately, but he's too fast and easily confronts them all. Meanwhile, Bulma meets with Dende to inform him that Jaco wants to recruit Piccolo into the Galactic Patrol. Later, Bulma calls Jaco again, and they get information about Morrow, the prisoners, and the fate of Namek. Unfortunately, when Dende realizes the involvement of the Macaroni gang, Piccolo has already decided to let them go. Dende quickly informs him to stop them, and he does, but not before Pasta manages to report back to Morrow about Earth and its energy. Morrow decides to send a more powerful reconnaissance team to confirm whether it's really worth his attention. As they continue their journey, Goku and Merus resume their training. Merus explains the true nature of Ultra Instinct and how to trigger it. It's not just about being calm, but you have to remain calm in the face of extreme emotional shocks. After mentioning the technique by its name, it turns out Goku was right about Merus. After their conversation, Merus takes Goku to a place similar to the Room of Spirit and Time on Earth, except this one lasts for 3 days inside for every 1 day outside. Now, the real training begins. Back on Earth, they attempt to gather the strongest Earth warriors, but only Krillin is available. They have to fight because 3 stronger prisoners have arrived on Earth through a portal created by an android named 7-3. This android can copy others' abilities for 30 minutes by gripping their neck. The portal he creates is one of those abilities. Without hesitation, 7-3 is able to grip Piccolo's neck and copy his abilities as well. Even though warned by Jaco, Krillin goes to assist Piccolo, but Yumba drags him into the fight. Everything looks dire for the Earth fighters here. Krillin battles Yumba, Jaco struggles against Shurameca, and Piccolo must face a copy of himself with unlimited endurance. It seems bleak for Earth. At that moment, Gohan arrives as the strongest fighter currently on the planet. Gohan easily overpowers 7-3. When Gohan is about to finish off 7-3, his copy of Piccolo runs out, and he switches to a stored copy, which this time is Morrow with energy-absorbing abilities. Morrow targets only the 4 fighters in front of him, and now they have no chance of winning. As they are on the verge of death, Piccolo tells the prisoners that even though they fall today, Goku and Vegeta will return to Earth and end them. This catches Morrow's attention because the idea of Goku and Vegeta with greater power could result in the finest meal in the universe. So, he orders 7-3 and the others to retreat for now. They say they will return to Earth in 20 Earth days, but Jaco manages to buy more time for them. In total, they have 2 months until Morrow and the prisoners return to Earth. Merus is informed of the 2 months they have, meaning they only have 6 months to train in the time room. So, they quickly return to their training. However, they are watched by Whis, who is visiting the Grand Priest. The Grand Priest explains that Merus is an angel in training, sent to Universe 7 to broaden his perspective. Angelic laws prohibit them from acting with bias, which is why they are not allowed to engage in actual combat and can only train. Whis defends Merus, stating that he has not broken any angelic laws and that he will look after his younger brother. The Grand Priest agrees and congratulates Whis, as he does not want to lose an angel. In Yardrat, Vegeta and Iriko have no contact with the Galactic Patrol, so they are unaware of what's happening on Earth. Vegeta continues his training without knowing the time constraints Earth is facing. He has already successfully learned the basics of spirit control, so now it's time for him to learn Yardrat's techniques. Piper will teach him instant teleportation, considered a fundamental technique. However, some of Morrow's forces land on Yardrat. Vegeta confronts them, but his power exceeds his expectations. An explosion originally intended to destroy communication devices ends up devastating a Yardrat city as he defeats the escaping prisoners. They mention that Earth is Morrow's next target, though they don't inform him about the 2-month delay. Fortunately, Vegeta can sense Earth's presence from Yardrat and realizes that Morrow hasn't arrived yet, giving him time to continue his training. However, he must accelerate his progress by skipping the basics and focusing directly on techniques that can defeat Morrow. Morrow senses how strong Vegeta has become, and he's feeling excited. He tells a companion that Vegeta must reach his outermost limits before going to Earth, if such limits exist. This is foreshadowing. Meanwhile, Morrow continues to consume planets while Goku and Vegeta persist in their training until the 2 months have passed. Merus and Goku are about to have their final battle, and Merus is ready to give it his all. However, before they can begin, Whis intervenes. Whis explains that a full power clash is considered a fight, so it would violate the angelic laws, even if they call it training. Merus apologizes, but Whis is even more upset, because Merus intended to fight Morrow alongside Goku. Now, Goku knows that Merus is an angel, and everything becomes clear. Goku asks Whis what happens if an angel breaks the law, and Whis answers that they will be erased from existence without a trace. This is the only way an angel can die, and it implies that even Zeno cannot erase them from existence. So, Whis takes Merus back to Beerus's planet and leaves Goku to finish the fight. The only problem is they left Goku behind, so he has to find a way to return to Earth on his own. On Earth, the entire Galactic Patrol has arrived to fight the invading forces, along with the strongest fighters on Earth, except for Goten, Trunks, and the androids. The prisoners started to spread out across the planet, so everyone divided their tasks to confront them. The main battle at this moment is between Piccolo and Gohan against 7-3. However, before they realized that they were facing 7-3, he used the copied ability of an invisible race to sneak up from behind and grab their necks. Everything looked grim, but Gohan and Piccolo were prepared to face his copied abilities. And since he could only use one copied ability at a time, they managed to defeat him with a combined attack, bringing him close to death. Then 7-3 transformed back into Morrow's ability, but when he attempted to absorb their ki, nothing happened. Androids 17 and 18 were also present, and they didn't have ki, making them perfect opponents for 7-3 with his copied abilities. It seemed like the battle was going well for Earth. However, Morrow and Sagambo descended to Earth as well. The human fighters had managed to deal with their initial foes, but they were soon overwhelmed by more powerful opponents. As Morrow and Sagambo landed on Earth, Piccolo immediately realized that Morrow was on a different level from the others. Before Morrow could engage, Sagambo offered to do it himself, and Morrow agreed, even granting more power to the prisoner. With that much energy, everything went from good to desperate on every front. Despite Gohan, Piccolo, and the androids fighting together, Sagambo was too powerful. There was no place on Earth where things were going well. As the situation grew increasingly dire, Goku started approaching Earth and could sense what was happening, but they were still too far for instant transmission. Until Krillin took a risk and left his ki trace as high as possible in the hope that Goku would find it. And it worked. Goku used instant transmission to arrive just in time alongside Krillin. Now, with Goku on Earth, he quickly saved the other human fighters and then teleported to the main battlefield, where he effortlessly confronted Sagambo. Goku moved so quickly that only Jaco and Morrow could see him, a clear indication of just how powerful he had become. Morrow and Goku even had a brief exchange of words before Sagambo rose again and interfered. Goku defeated him again, but he kept coming back. It turned out that Morrow had been granting him more and more power. After a few more power boosts, Sagambo finally fell and died, leaving only Morrow to face Goku. Goku was angry at how Morrow had treated Sagambo, but he told Morrow that he was ready to show the power he had gained from his training. In an instant, the anger disappeared from his face as he closed his eyes and transitioned into Ultra Instinct Sign, the predecessor to the technique of the gods. Goku and Morrow began to battle, and it seemed like Goku had the upper hand. Morrow's magic was somewhat troublesome, but nothing Goku couldn't handle. Gohan asked his father to give it his all, without worrying about damaging the Earth, as they could repair it with the Dragon Balls, just as Goku had told Gohan during the Cell Saga. As the battle continued, it became increasingly balanced with more and more magic used by Morrow. But he still hadn't tried to absorb Goku's ki. When he finally attempted to lock Goku in and steal his energy, Goku started moving at maximum speed to evade it. With Morrow's primary ability neutralized, it seemed like Goku could truly win the battle. Back on Beerus's planet, Whis and Merus observed the battle. Whis praised Merus's training and asked if they would also witness Goku's silver-haired form, but Merus responded with a no. Back on Earth, Morrow sneered and told Goku that energy absorption was the key to his victory. He had been holding back his true power until now. Once Morrow activated his power, he easily grabbed Goku and began draining his ki. Gohan even noticed that Goku couldn't maintain this form for long in battle. With Goku back to his base form, things looked bleak, but luckily, Goku still had more power left. What Morrow said made him increasingly confident that he could win the fight if he attacked with all he had now. With both of them at full power, they resumed their almost evenly matched battle. Merus and Whis weren't sure if Goku's strategy were the best, but Morrow was even stronger than Goku and Merus had estimated, so he had no choice but to bet everything on this. Back on Yardrat, Vegeta had finally mastered the technique he needed to defeat Morrow. He asked Piper to send him to Earth, but their race was forbidden from teleporting outside their planet. However, they also couldn't teleport to places they had never visited before. This felt somewhat forced, and even though there were no such rules, not being able to sense Goku's presence because he was using God, Kai was a little odd. Therefore, Vegeta asked to be taught instant transmission since he needed to get to Earth immediately. Meanwhile, Goku tried to use all his power, but relying solely on strength was actually hindering Ultra Instinct. He eventually lost the battle and was thrown out of Ultra Instinct. Androids 17 and 18 came to help because their energy couldn't be absorbed, allowing Goku to stay alive. In Yardrat, Vegeta desperately tried to lock onto Goku's power, but he couldn't do it. Pibara sensed that Goku's power had returned and offered to break their rules for this emergency, but Vegeta said he could do it. He tried again, and after successfully locking onto Goku's power, Vegeta teleported from Yardrat and arrived on Earth. Androids 17 and 18 did their best, but they weren't strong enough to defeat Morrow. Vegeta appeared on the battlefield right after Goku was surprised to see him using instant transmission. But Vegeta reassured Goku that he most likely wouldn't be able to use it again. Vegeta then asked the androids to step back and faced Morrow alone. He transformed into Super Saiyan Blue evolution and attacked. However, Vegeta's initial attack had almost no impact on Morrow, as if Vegeta was all talk without a strong foundation. Everyone thought Vegeta Dare was crazy because it was clear he couldn't win. But don't worry, Piccolo assured everyone that Vegeta never misjudged the opponent's strength. Vegeta continued his battle with Morrow, and it became evident that Morrow was getting weaker while Vegeta started feeling wounded. Goku was the first to realize what technique Vegeta was using. It's called forced spirit fission. Vegeta told Morrow that he had released all the souls Morrow had absorbed. This technique is similar to Morrow's power to consume planets or the spirit bomb in reverse. Goku explained to the others that forced spirit fission could separate entities that were combined through fusion or absorption. As Morrow returned to the fight, there was nothing he could do, and Morrow's body began to revert to its original state. At this stage, Morrow would die of old age rather than from the ongoing battle. When the energy returned to the planets he had drained, some would recover, but those who had been dead for too long would remain deceased. New Namek was an exception, where people were truly brought back to life, even though they had been dead for more than 2 months. Eska believed this was due to the Dragon Balls protecting them. Morrow used his magic to escape, burning Shirameka and absorbing 7-3, causing Morrow to transform and become even stronger than before because 7-3 had a backup of Morrow within. Yes, Morrow had reached a state of perfection by absorbing an android. With this new power, Morrow easily confronted Vegeta, and now there was no one capable of opposing him. Vegeta rose and attempted to use forced spirit fission once more, but Morrow had seen through the technique. Morrow realized that Vegeta had to cause damage for the technique to work, so he only needed to avoid his attacks. Gohan said it didn't matter because 7-3's power mimicking ability only lasted 30 minutes, so they could stall for time. However, Morrow told them that 7-3's copy would only revert to its original for 30 minutes, so such time limits should not exist. Meanwhile, Morrow had even trapped Vegeta by the neck and mimicked his abilities. He used a big bang attack to finish off the Saiyan Prince, and Piccolo even noted that with forced spirit fission, Morrow could even reverse fusions. With no one left to fight, Dendi made a bold decision as the Earth's god to descend and assist them by healing everyone. Krillin had a bag of senzu beans and did his best to get them back to the fighters. Meanwhile, as they headed to the main battle site, the battle didn't stop. Gohan and Piccolo created an opening for Goku to use instant transmission Kamehameha. And if that's not enough of a reference, Morrow merely regenerated himself as Cell did. Then, Morrow impaled Goku through the chest with a newly created arm. Furthermore, Morrow made the claim that he had the permanent copying ability from 7-3. Morrow created a barrier around the battlefield, locking Krillin and Dende outside. One by one, Morrow began finishing everyone off until only Jaco remained. Dende watched in horror from outside the barrier until it opened in front of him, and an angel informed him that it wasn't over yet. Then, we see Merus saving Jaco at the last second by transferring his powers into Jaco's blaster shot before Morrow could see what was happening. All the injured fighters were moved to a safe location to be healed by Dende. Merus then started fighting Morrow, and the Planet Eater noted that Merus had no detectable energy despite having it before. Merus was actually using his God Key, and as a result, he was quite successful. Meanwhile, Whis and Beerus were with Dende and the others. They managed to get them away from Morrow, but after that, Beerus said they were going to Bulma's place for a meal. Dende began healing everyone, starting with Goku. The process took a little longer due to the type of injuries he had, but eventually, Goku was completely healed. When he learned that Merus was still fighting Morrow, he immediately flew to the scene. Goku stopped Merus before he disappeared and took over the fight with Ultra Instinct Sign, but it turned out not to be enough to contend with the stronger Morrow. Goku was frustrated as he couldn't master Ultra Instinct, but Merus told him that the final push had to be enough. While they were talking, Morrow attempted to mimic Merus's abilities by trapping Merus's neck, but Merus cut off Morrow's hand before he could mimic him. Merus retaliated by using his angelic powers to seal Morrow's copying abilities. I understand that it might seem like he was just destroying crystals, but in reality, it's called a sealing technique. This explains why Morrow couldn't simply regenerate them. Beerus could sense that Merus was using his angelic powers and informed Wise that they needed to stop him on the battlefield. Merus began to explain how the Galactic Patrol transformed him and instilled a sense of justice in him. Meeting Goku and his friends reinforced those ideals. Merus started gathering power for his final attack, reflecting on his conversation with Goku about Goku's consistent heroism. Goku denied any heroic actions and spoke as if it was all just selfish desires that happened to work out in the end. Morrow attempted to stop Merus with a large energy ball, but Merus flew past it and sealed the final crystal with that attack. Merus offered some final words of encouragement to Goku, asking him to protect the universe he loved. An overwhelming aura surrounded Goku as his anger reached its peak. His emotions swelled as he spoke about how Merus fought for the entire universe. However, with a deep breath, he calmed himself. He asked Jaco why he joined the Galactic Patrol, and Jaco mentioned that he wanted to keep peace in the galaxy, plus their uniforms were cool. Goku was delighted that his primary reason was the same as Merus's, and said that since he had also joined the Galactic Patrol, protecting the universe was his duty as well. Morrow rose once again, and Goku told him that he would fulfill Merus's will and defeat him. Then, Goku's power began to surge, and a massive aura enveloped the battlefield before it vanished, revealing Goku with silver hair. The power of Ultra Instinct had an eerie calmness and instinctively frightened Morrow. Every attack Morrow attempted couldn't touch Goku, and every attack Goku landed was more powerful than before. Morrow began to lose energy. Morrow unleashed his full power in hopes of catching up, but Goku was far superior. Goku delivered a powerful punch that sent shockwaves throughout the earth. Morrow had no way to counter as he was already on the brink of death. He begged for his life, and Goku asked Jaco whether Morrow was sentenced to death. Upon hearing that he was indeed sentenced to death, Goku withdrew from the Galactic Patrol and chose to face him as a regular human. Finally, Krillin arrived at the battlefield, and in one of the scenes I didn't like, Goku took a Senzu bean from Krillin and gave Morrow one bean in exchange for him going back to prison. Morrow agreed to Goku's terms, but after consuming the Senzu bean, he betrayed Goku, as he was bound to do. However, that horrifying moment was balanced by Goku's Ultra Instinct ability, which automatically protected his body from Morrow's attacks and immediately broke Planet Eater's hand, which was truly extraordinary. After breaking Morrow's hand with his own body, they began to talk, and Goku was disappointed because Morrow would never change. He knew he had to kill him now. After they finished talking, Goku asked Morrow once again if he was willing to return to prison peacefully. But at that moment, Morrow looked at the hand previously severed by Merus and said he would never go back. So, Goku said he had no choice but to kill him to uphold Merus's wishes. Morrow asked who Merus really was, and Goku basically explained everything. Now aware that Merus could use the same abilities as Goku, he quickly pulled the hand that had been choking Merus towards himself and started to transform. His hair turned silver like Merus, and he began using Ultra Instinct Merus. This is another parallel with Cell gaining powers like Gohan's after becoming Super Perfect Cell. They began flying around the Earth at full speed and collided with each other. However, as the battle continued, Morrow's body strangely began to get bigger. Goku told him that this was similar to what happened to Sagambo, that his body was untrained to contain so much power. Morrow had to release Merus's power or be destroyed by it. Morrow said that he had no limits, recalling the foreshadowing from before, and began searching for a body that could contain the power, and ultimately used his magic to merge with the Earth itself. His explained that Morrow merging with the planet meant they shared the same fate. Now, if Morrow were to be destroyed, the Earth would be destroyed as well, and the energy released could potentially annihilate the entire galaxy. Then, Morrow began absorbing energy from everyone who touched the Earth, and the energy surge within him would become a problem if not dealt with quickly. Merus decided he would help Goku finish the fight, but at that moment was received a call from the Grand Priest, possibly related to Merus before they left. Was informed Goku that the way to defeat Morrow and save the Earth was by destroying the crystal on his head. If done correctly, it would release the powers copied from Merus. With that, Merus and Whis departed, but Morrow began concealing the crystal inside his enlarged body. It was then that Vegeta flew in and started pounding the Earth to use the forced spirit fission. As the power left Morrow, the crystal reappeared, and Goku flew in to finish the fight. However, Morrow managed to stop Goku before he reached the crystal and absorbed Goku's power, forcing him back into his base form. Piccolo asked Vegeta if he could use forced spirit fission in reverse, and he said it might be possible. So, they contributed their energy to Goku, as did everyone else, even Goten and Trunks, but it wasn't enough. Goku could only return to Super Saiyan Blue with that much power. Now it seems entirely hopeless. They began discussing other options, but Morrow has gone insane and is likely to explode on his own, even if they do nothing. That's when a massive amount of divine energy approaches the battlefield, more than enough for Goku to finish the fight. Jaco had located the Great Lord of Lords, but it wasn't the key meant. The Great Lord of Lords finds you and asks him to donate divine energy reincarnated from Kid Buu. Vegeta gives his divine power to Goku, and with that, Goku creates a giant-sized version of himself to restrain Morrow as his original body delivers the final blow that ends Morrow. After that, Buu returns to normal and forgets his time as the Great Lord of Lords. The Dragon Balls are used to restore the universe, and the Galactic Patrol holds an awards ceremony where Goku, Vegeta, Jaco, and even Merus are honored. It's revealed that Shin asked to exchange his life for Merus's, and the Grand Priest was moved by his actions. So he temporarily erased Merus and then brought him back as a human to save him. So now, Merus has a limited lifespan and no longer possesses angelic powers. Can he still use Ultra Instinct? Who knows? After all of that is finished, the Galactic Patrol celebrates their success, while Beerus and the Supreme Kai are punished for letting an angel go missing. Peace has returned to the universe, at least for now. This is the best arc in Dragon Ball Super, though there are some shortcomings in my opinion. Anyway, maybe you should try reading the manga and see for yourself. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching.